Guys, before this episode even gets started, let me warn you. It is a shit show at certain points. Nothing bad, nothing when we had massive technical difficulties. It shouldn't come through too bad on the audio, but on the video, you're going to notice a couple of black screens here and there. They come back after a minute or two. I don't know what happened. You guys know I'm stupid. You guys know I don't know anything about this stuff. So, just sit back and laugh. And you know what? Speaking of laughing, I'll give you one more. I don't even have to tell you this. I shouldn't tell you this, but I love you. So I'm going to give you this so that you can laugh your ass off at how stupid I am. This is actually the fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4 time that I've tried to record this stupid little clip right here. The first two times, not once, but two. The first two, I forgot to turn my mic on. The first time I was like, what the fuck's wrong with the sound? And then I was like, oh shit, I didn't turn my mic on. And then I did it again. And then the third time I hit record on the audio, but not record on the video. So welcome to my shit show. Welcome to Savagely Loud. Sit back, enjoy, laugh your balls off.
Everything you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes only. Listen, have some fun, but don't ever do, believe, or promote anything they say. They're idiots.
Guys, hold up. You should know, this ain't for everybody. Welcome to Savagely Loud. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the show. For the people that understand the facts divided by feelings equals failure, I'm Cliff, I'm your host, and today I've got another special guest with me. But before we get to him, let's get to the normal shit. You know what I'm about to say. Guys, if you want to help me get this word out, you want to help me get these truths out, you can follow me on Instagram at Savagely Loud. That is where I'm most active. On that page on Instagram, you will find two links. One of those links is to Savagely Loud podcast page, which you should definitely follow too, because it will inevitably be my backup when they shut down my normal page. And also you will find a link tree on there. Anywhere you watch or listen to my social media or these podcasts, you can find it there. So check it out. Outside of that, you can follow me on Facebook, X, and Rumble at Savagely Loud, YouTube at Savagely Loud Podcast, and you can email me in at savagelyloud@gmail if you want to questions, comments, concerns, you want to talk a little shit, have at it. Email me in savagelyloud@gmail.com. Last but not least, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and share the material. And please, please, please rate the show. Give me a good review, 5 stars, man. Let's help me out here, guys. You know how the fucking thing goes. The more you help me out, the more I can help you out. So, without any further ado, let's get to the man that you see on the screen. Mr. Dave Anderson, how are we doing today?
I can't complain. It's another fucking Sunday, right? Just one more day and we go back to work.
Right. Well, tell everybody a little bit about you, where they can find you, what your podcast is, and all that stuff.
All right. Well, you can find me on all the social media at the Hammer Drops. I'm available on every podcast platform out there. Just put in the Hammer Drops podcast, and we're gonna pop up. We basically, what I'm about, I'm an American, man, and I believe in America first. Fuck all the other shit. I'm over it.
Right.
And all this ideology that they've been shoving down our throats for the last 5 years, I'm so sick of it. It's like, enough's enough already. So basically, whatever you hear on mainstream media, you ain't going to hear from me. I'm going to debunk everything they got to throw at you.
That's the way you need to do it. I mean, it don't get clearer than that. What is it called? The Hammer Drops podcast everywhere?
Yeah, the Hammer Drops podcast. You can find us Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we also have a website at thehammerdrops.com.
Beautiful. So, guys, make sure you check out hammerdrops.com, Hammer Drops on social media, Hammer Drops podcast. Get it into it. And as I understand, you had a little hiatus and you're coming back because...
Yeah, I took, shit. It's probably about just over a year off. I just needed to unplug from all of it, because when you really dive into this shit, and this is something that people don't understand, when you really dive into it and you start to go down rabbit holes, it really fucks with your head. Yeah. Because you're researching so much shit. I've researched about China, CCP, how that started. I took a deep dive down that, just politics and just like everything like we're seeing now is just a playbook from another decade, another time. Yep. And they're just fucking reusing it over and over and over again. And we keep fucking falling for it.
What's old is new again. What's old is new again.
Cancel culture is been played out and it's back.
Yeah.
And people are falling for it.
It seems to be back in a different way. Like when cancel culture really happened, I mean, it was the left and they loved it because, I mean, you couldn't even disagree with somebody about the flavor of soda pop that you liked.
Right.
And they wanted you to lose your fucking job over it. But now it seems like they're getting a taste of their own medicine. Now, before we go any further, I'm kind of a middle of the road dude. Like as where my buddy Gordon Rubbo says, Kool-Aid says, I'm a meet you where you want to go kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I stand here. If you want to go there, we can go there. If you want to go there, we can go there. But I will meet you there. And when I look at the left and the way the left has treated everybody for the last, I would say decades, solid, just super solid decade. We could go back all the way to 2008 to Obama and that whole campaign of, identity politics and all that other shit. But really solidly a decade where the left has been really just treating everybody like shit. I'm not sure if I should say including or if I should say most of all, their own people. Like they are the kind of people that just seem to eat their own. They're like Subaru drivers. Like when I had my WRX, I was all excited. I was like, I'm going to be part of this community, this car community. And every motherfucker out there was like, you don't have enough shiny lights on it. You don't have enough big tips on the exhaust pipe. You have a little different lowering kit than I. Like Subaru people eat their own. And that seems to be, I mean, it's the vehicle of the left. I mean, it seems to fit.
Well, I mean, you know what? It happens even with like motorcycles and shit. Harleys and sport bikes and just fucking Indians and all that shit. It's prevalent throughout everything. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, because you're in the biker community. So I mean, you ride and whatever, and you and I have had similar circles, let's say, throughout the time, in our experience with the momocycles. But the momocycles. But but it is just like that. Like every circle has its own vibe. Every genre, demographic of human beings has their own vibe, and they all have that air of wanting to eat themselves. But yeah, like the biker communities, dude, like Harley guys do not like anybody. And everybody else is getting to really not like the Harley guys. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and I kind of look at it like this. For me, if you're on two fucking wheels, I don't give a fuck what kind of bike you ride, It's like, that doesn't matter to me. If you're on two wheels, you're out there and enjoying yourself, then fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
But it's an ideology that goes into every social norm that we're seeing nowadays. It's just like that.
Yeah.
And it's, a perfect example, Fetterman from the Pennsylvania senator. How he's siding with Republicans on a lot of stuff, and now the Democrats are turning on him.
Yeah,
it's like he's a fucking Democrat. Like, why are you turning on him? Because he's pro, like, keep the government moving. He's pro America, so now let's turn against him. Makes no fucking sense. But I mean, that's just the Democrats for you.
Yeah. Well, and I think I think largely that's. If we rewind a little bit and we go back to that to the Obama presidency, I just was on a show. I just did a show with Conservative Willie, and we talked about that real briefly about how when I lived through Clinton. I'm 43 years old. So I was a kid, but I lived through Clinton, and I was old enough to remember that nothing seemed really super fucked up, if you know what I mean. Everybody I knew, they talked well about him in America and outside of America. In fact, we saw a lot of countries out there outside of America calling him the world's president, much like they do with Donald Trump. Whether that's agreeable or dis is besides the point. But they were saying this thing. Even my parents, my dad was a Vietnam vet, and my mom was... your standard fucking I raised the household and shit kind of woman, and then she went off to work and whatnot. But they spoke well of him, but they did speak ill of other presidents. So I had that, and it seemed like life wasn't so fucked up. And then we had a couple of different disasters, after him. And what you mean the travesty in Iran? It's a travesty, But then we got to Obama, and it's it seemed like the focus went from being American to being a Black American or a white American or a Mexican American or a female American or a trans American. Like Obama did, he absolutely fucking destroyed every bit of racial unity we had achieved up until that point. Because again, I'm 43, so I lived through the late 80s and the 90s. Dude, in the fucking 90s, in the early to mid 90s, it almost seemed like we had gotten to a point where blacks and whites were almost inseparable. Like we felt like we got to a point where, you know, and I will preface how I have the unique perspective on this because I was on the opposite side of that fence. I was skinhead. So I didn't accept anybody, you know, unless you met some certain criteria like the left does. But I got to see that through an outside perspective. And I remember it being so fucking disgusting to me how well black people and white people were intermingling and all this other shit. It was so disgusting. But now I've gone through all these major life changes and near losses of life and all this other shit and changed my mentality from that childhood mentality, I look at it and I see that was the racial unity everybody was saying that we needed. And when Obama got in here, it fucking ended, and it ended like somebody dropped a concrete wall on it.
It like stopped like right in its fucking tracks, like you just said. Like it just concrete wall, boom, it was over. Now everybody just like, I mean, if you're blacks don't. There's a lot of blacks that don't like white people anymore, and they're not afraid to say it. Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many times I've been told to my face that I don't like fucking white people. And it's like, I'm just looking at the guy like, I didn't do shit to you. Like, yeah,
get into that because you're on a road crew or something, right? And you get to work in the areas that I actually make podcasts about. Like you get to be the white guy on the fucking street in the uniform, and you still get mistreated in these areas. So yeah, let's dive into that shit. Let's dive into it.
What everybody sees, I have to say, stop living in a fucking bubble. Because what the news is feeding you is fucking bullshit. And I can tell you from my point of view, I've worked in Chicago, I work in Milwaukee now, and I work in the hood. And these aren't places that you want to be walking around if you're a white person. Because if you do, you know, it doesn't take much. You pull up on a house, like I had to pull up on a house one time to grab some pictures showing that the work was done. I shit you not, within a minute, 6 black guys come out. I'm getting eyeballed, looked up and down, and I'm just like, fuck. You know? But I mean, there's a few things. Like, you got the nice cars in those neighborhoods, shit ass houses. You got houses. I've been in a lot of these houses up there, and what people see on the street is one thing. But I mean, to actually like get a full perspective of what's going on up there. I mean, it's not just like the violence aspect of it, but drugs are rampant up there. I see people tweaking out all the time, like on the street corners and at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're doing that fentanyl dance.
Yeah.
And then you got the animal abuse that goes on in these fucking neighborhoods is fucking crazy. You walk in a house, you know, a dog, if you have a dog, right? Your dog's supposed to be man's best friend. The dog's inside the house with you. You know, if he's going to hop up on the couch with you, he's going to hop up on the couch with you. Not in these fucking houses, man. They have them in cages downstairs in their basements, living in their own feces.
Yeah.
And the company I work for, unfortunately, we're in a position where we can't say anything. We can't report it, because if we do, then it shuts down the whole project.
Yeah.
Because then word's going to travel fast, and nobody's going to let you into to continue on with the project. It's just, it's fucking nuts. I mean,
and let me interject real quick, because I know, given our audience, there are people already saying, well, it's your fucking duty to stand up for those animals. It's your duty to stand up to those people and this and that and the other thing. But you have to understand, in Dave's unique position, you can't speak up, because here's the balance. You're going to speak up, and you're going to cause law enforcement to go to a certain, let's say a certain house, to check on the welfare of a certain dog or a couple of dogs. In the time that takes, you're already losing all of your coworkers their jobs, because you're now outing the company, and the company then can't find work, and if the company can't find work to do, it can't employ anybody. So unfortunately, as disgusting and despicable as it may be to say out loud, you can't say anything, whether, regardless of who thinks you have a duty to or not, because you've got 1,000 other guys behind you that are feeding their families on basically none of you saying anything.
Right. No, exactly. And that's the problem. I mean, it's, we go in there with our hands tied. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't said anything to the homeowner, about how they treat their dogs and just in general. I mean, even kids up there, I mean, they fucking grabbing the kids, dragging them all over the place and yelling at them. It's like, I mean, I've literally looked at people when this is going on. I told them, like, if I catch you, yanking that dog or that kid like that again, I'm going to wrap that fucking chain around your neck and start fucking dragging your ass around. See how you like it. It's just, but in the same aspect, because I've worked in those areas so fucking much, I'm desensitized to it. I mean, that's just what happens when you're in those areas, and there's nothing you can do about it. We've had cars broken into, like literally we're not even half block down, and the work vehicle that was behind me, they busted out the window to steal their fucking iPad. And this is broad daylight. And I'm telling you right now, the cops don't give a fuck. They ain't showing up.
No. Well,
and if they do show up, it's going to be like 3 hours later.
Yeah. Yeah. And the big thing is which they're not going to.
Exactly.
I had that shit. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, and the one point that I was going to say, one thing I was going to say is when the vehicle got broken into, we were literally 2 blocks away from the police department, and it still took them 3 hours to get there. I mean, come on, they don't want to come on those neighborhoods.
Yeah, because when you call the cops, and the cops already, like, in my opinion, okay, so we know my stance on cops. I think the duty, the responsibility, and the position are admirable and noble. It's the people that do it nowadays that are no longer admirable and noble. They are self-serving. They're TikTok cops. They're not going to go to the ghetto, especially when they know nothing's going to come of it except they make a bad name for themselves, air quote, and it infringes upon the whatever rapport they had started building with that community. But I had my own run-ins with that. I used to deliver beer. So we would roll up with the truck, and we would be in, shithole areas. And every time we were in there, like, we would roll up to, let's say, an Armanetti's, and we had 500 cases to deliver. Now, 500 cases for a beer delivering isn't like 524 packs. You got a 24 pack, and then if you had 12 packs, it was 2 12 packs was a 12 pack. And, a flat was 4 6s and all this other shit. So you had mountains of this fucking alcohol in this truck. And every time we would roll up to do a delivery in the ghetto in the shithole area, we always had to have one guy not do anything because he had to stand outside of the truck and guard the beer. And I had run-ins where we had fucking beer stolen, and I was working with a dude, and he was a crotchety old white guy that thought nobody could hurt him. You know the type. Like, we'll be there one day probably. But he was that guy. So he was like, "Let's go." I was like, "You think I'm chasing a couple of black dudes with our beer through their neighborhood? You're out of your fucking mind." I just sat in the truck. I got in the truck and I fucking sat there. You don't fucking chase him. You chase him. And he got back and I was like, "Did you find him?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Yeah, because it's stupid to even run. The only thing you did was endanger yourself. You weren't going to get that beer back. And plus, it was a couple of fucking 6-packs that we don't have to pay for. So why are you so, like, I'm not putting myself in harm's way for a 12-pack of beer I don't own. Not even if I did
exactly.
own it, But that's the brazen behavior in the way they act. Like, it's broad daylight. They don't give a fuck if you're standing there. They're coming up and they're going to get it, whatever the fuck it takes.
Oh, and motherfuckers will walk out of their house. I've actually witnessed them walking out of their house with an AR, going in the back in the alley and firing off shots. In 10 o'clock in the morning. Or they're down at the street corner with all their buddies and they're passing around fucking Glocks and 9s to each other because they're getting ready to go do something at first thing in the fucking morning. It's like, aren't you guys supposed to be like in school or something? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Cliff, you still there? Hey, there you are. No audio.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I can't hear you now. What the fuck is happening here?
Technical difficulties. It's all part of the show.
There you go. I got you now.
All right. You see me? You got me?
I see you. I hear you. My fucking dude, I'm so over these type C connectors and everything because you've always got to plug something in and then tape it and prop it and do all this shit because you got to have something fucking hanging off of it. But maybe we'll edit this out. Maybe we won't. And maybe we'll just leave it. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, who fucking knows? Who cares?
But yeah, back to what we were saying is, like the brazen behavior, like the fact that they'll just exhibit this behavior right out in the open. They don't give a single fuck about anything.
No, and it's pretty sad actually. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. And for the people, it's like you hear people complaining about like Trump sending in the National Guard into these cities to help clean up crime. It's like, and it's mostly suburbia white people that are fucking complaining about it. Talk to the people that are in the city that are in these neighborhoods that actually need, that want this. I mean, it's like, come on. If you don't know what the fuck's going on, I invite you to go out to these fucking neighborhoods, park your car somewhere, and don't keep it in sight because I guarantee you're going to worry about your car because that car's going to get fucked with if you leave it out of sight.
Yeah.
Walk the neighborhood, say hi to the people and see what the fuck happens.
Yeah. Go to a Sox game and when you get off the train, just take a different turn.
Yeah, exactly. I guarantee
you're going to quickly be in an area you don't want to be in.
No, exactly. And I guarantee you, and I'll put money on it, that either A, they're not even going to go, or B, if they go, they're going to be racing to get the fuck out of there once they see what the hell's going on. I mean, these neighborhoods are trash. There's garbage everywhere, like you've said before. I mean, it's literally a third world country inside the United States.
It is. And I just did an episode on it, maybe actually last episode, all about, communities around our, in our corner of the fucking earth in northeastern Illinois, and it's a level of character that is just not possessed by the people that live there, and people get on me all the time when I say third world people create third world countries. It's not the other way around. A third world country, a first-rate mind does not move to a third world country and suddenly live in squalor and have that be okay. You have to start with that mentality to begin with. Mm-hmm. But I was driving Uber once, to touch on your area there. I was driving Uber before years ago, and I picked up this dude. I got a pickup at Illinois Beach State Park, the resort. Okay. So I pick him up, and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, right? And it's a black dude and his wife and their kid. And they got a bunch of art supplies. They did a big show. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but they did a big art show and stuff, and kind of like those sip and paint kind of things overnight for a group of people. But when I got the notification from Uber, it said it was a long trip. So I was like, well, fuck it. I make more money. Let's go, He gets in the car, and I was like, where are we headed to? And he's like, we're going to go down, pretty good ways. We're south of 290, blah, 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 blah. So we're down on the fucking south side of Chicago, and I'm like, we're just driving and driving and driving and driving and driving down the highway, and I'm like, dude, man, where are you fucking taking me? Don't tell me you're fucking taking me where I think you're fucking taking me, someplace like back of the yards and shit like that.
Ugh.
And
Yeah.
he fucking, I forgot where we actually were, but he's like, all right, you can get off here. And I was like, yeah, but the fucking, the thing says to get off up there. He's like, if you get off up there, we're all going to die. And this dude was cool. He's cool as fuck. He was he's not probably, definitely one of the coolest black dudes I've ever fucking spoken to in my life.
Man.
But he's like, yeah, if you get off down there, we're all going to fucking die. So get off here and don't talk to anybody. So I get off on the exit. And I was like, who would I be talking to? And I'm kind of bullshitting with him, the whole time because I was I'm that kind of Uber driver when I was driving, I like to, have some fun, be friendly, have a conversation. Right. Unless you don't want to, then that's fine. But I was like, he's like, those guys. As soon as I asked, who would I be talking to? He's like, those guys. And he's like, they're the drum boys or the bucket boys. And the dudes in the bucket, they'd come out with their buckets and they'd every intersection, every off ramp. And they would sit there with their buckets and they'd hammer on their buckets, drum their buckets or whatever, wanting change and shit. And I was like, just for shits and giggles. I mean, like, why shouldn't I talk to him? He's like, because as soon as you fucking roll down the window, they're going to pull a gun on you and rob you. And I was like, oh, interesting. So don't donate to the people that, I mean, like, and then I blew my own mind. I was like, yeah, but they're talented. Like, they're actually talented.
Right.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, he's like, your windows are too hard to break if they're closed. If you roll the window down, then they can get in and they're going to take everything you fucking have. Just trust me. I was like, oh, I'm not arguing. So we rolled up and I made sure we got out of there as fast as fucking possible. Well, then I couldn't use the directions Uber gave me because he was like, don't go that way. Don't go that way. That's a bad way, blah, blah, blah. So we kind of snake around this neighborhood and I drop him off and I'm on this street that was more pothole dirt and broken gravel and water than street. You know what I mean? Yeah. The houses, including his, were all boarded up, spray painted all over the fucking place, boarded up. There was one window on his house, which was the top window that was not boarded up, but you couldn't get to it. But that's probably why it wasn't boarded up. And he tells me, he's like, all right, when you leave, he's like, it's super important for you to go this way. He's like, don't go the way they're going to tell you to go. You have to go this way. You have to go down a couple blocks. You have to make a left and then a right. And he winds me around this neighborhood. Well, I missed a turn somewhere. And I ended up on this fucking street. I look over and I see nothing but about 40, 50 dudes all wearing the matching colors, and I'm not going to fucking say what colors they are because I'm not even trying to bust people out. I've been that life. I know that life. But they're all wearing matching colors and all you see is AKs, ARs, and fucking bats and shit just lined up across like it was like they had a banister, like a little front patio, but it was like sided. It was like the siding of the house, not a banister. But it was they were just piles of fucking guns and bats and shit everywhere. And I'm like, holy fuck. And as I'm approaching this stop sign, they all start funneling off of the porch. And I was like, fuck this stop sign, I'm out. And I fucking laid on it, dude. I had a fucking 2018 Dodge Journey sideways through the fucking streets of South Chicago, just trying to get to a fucking highway. Because it seemed like everywhere I turned, it just got worse. It only got worse. It only ever got worse. And I was fucking scared, like terrified, shitless. I need to get the fuck out of there. And that's when that's the last time I ever took a fucking Uber that way. I'm never taking another fucking motherfucker down there.
Well, isn't it funny though when you're on one of those like main stretches? I mean, even like down in Chicago, like if you're driving down Kedzie, you can tell like once you get into a bad neighborhood or you're starting to, the buildings start looking more and more like shit. You start to get more boarded up, more garbage, just not taken care of. I mean, and that goes for like even up in Milwaukee. Like if you go say up like 35th Street or 27th Street, it's all beautiful down on the south side. But as soon as you start creeping up on the north side, you'll start seeing that change. And you're just like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Why is it, because the first time I did when I was up there, because I'm like, man, this is kind of weird. This isn't too bad. Then all of a sudden you start making that cross, you get up.
All right, we're back after some majorly technical difficulties because I have some exhausting equipment on this end. So back to 35th Street or whatever it was. Let's get to it.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, like 35th and 27th. I mean, when you're on the south side of Milwaukee, even Kedzie, like you're on the north side, it's all beautiful. It's all nice. It's taken care of. The buildings are in good shape. But you sure as fuck know, once you're starting to come in a bad neighborhood, they start to go to shit. And that's when you start to see all the prostitutes, the drug addicts, and just everything. And it's just like, okay, I'm not in the right neighborhood that I should probably be in right now.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
It's just,
and it's not even just a visual. You can feel it. Like you can feel in the air that you are in a dangerous place. And not only are you in a dangerous place, you can feel in the air that that place seeks to harm you for being
exactly.
there. You know, and that's not an energy that the city can put into it. Like that's an energy that the people put into it.
No, exactly. And fun fact for you, if and this blew my mind when I first realized it. Like up in Milwaukee, you have all the prostitutes out there, and they hang around mostly by schools, and the cops don't do shit.
Oh God.
It's fucking sickening. It's sickening. Like I'm just like, we're like literally a block away from a school, and you know, hell, when I was up there, I had this one fucking dumb bitch prostitute. I'm like sitting in my car waiting for the concrete truck to get there so I can inspect what I need to do, and this bitch like opens up my car door and goes to hop in. I'm like, I look over and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, oh, don't you want? I'm like, no, I'm fucking happily married.
Right.
And plus, I like my dick.
Yeah.
I don't want my dick falling off, even if I wasn't married. It's like, get the fuck out of here, you dumb bitch.
I'd rather have a bench vice hold my dick than you.
Yeah. Well, and then as soon as she like closed my door, there was another car right on the other side of me, and she got right into that fucking car and left.
Jeez.
It's fucking gross. I feel for the kids that live in these neighborhoods because that's what they're, and we wonder why the next generation becomes like this is because this is what they see every fucking day in these neighborhoods. And you know, it's just, you know, that's what they're used to. So that's all they fucking know. And that's why they end up the way they are.
And there's so many kids being born in these neighborhoods that it's, you know, people are shocked when there's an overwhelming wave of this kind of behavior. Well, what do you expect when you've got parents that continuously raise more and more kids to get a bigger fucking check from the government? And they teach them that this is how you're supposed to live life through their own actions. You know, we all know that there's parents in the ghetto that, you know, they ended up moving there because legitimate hard times, life happened, something happened that made them move there. And that's the only way they could get a roof over their kids' heads. I understand that. And I understand that there's parents in the ghettos that are telling their fucking kids not to live like that. But letting them remain in the ghetto and watching this life happen all day, every single day, is what's training these kids to believe it. No matter what you say as a parent, it's always going to pale in comparison to what they see people in the life and, you know, living that life. And all it's going to take is them seeing a couple of gangbangers flashing some fucking money that are a couple of years older than they are when they're 6, 7 years old. And that's what they want to be now.
Exactly. Well, and you know, and one thing is like, you're right. Like in these neighborhoods, I mean, I don't want to paint a picture that everybody in these neighborhoods are like that, because I think out of 1 out of 100, well, I would say probably about 6 out of 100 families that live in these neighborhoods are there because, you know, that was their only choice, you know, and these are the places that have the nice manicured lawns. They take care of their shit, you know, all of that. And yeah, they try to, but it gets fucked up. Right. You know, one thing that we say, our saying up north in Milwaukee is we can't put nice shit in these neighborhoods because it's going to get ruined. Yeah. And it's fact.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly what it is, because nobody takes care of shit. And then like the people that you were just talking about, the people that just did happen to have to land there for, even if it's momentary, they can't have nice shit. They're the ones that when I said they try, it's like they try. Like you can see they tried to mow their lawn. They tried to wash their windows. They try. And everybody fucks it up for them. They fucking throw trash all over their lawns. They fucking break the windows in their cars. Oh, because you're making everybody look like shit. Well, why you're making yourself look like shit? Why is it on me to have to conform to your lack of standards? Why can't you conform to my to my standards? You know, it's sad, like you said earlier.
But it's easier for them to be like that, not care. That's what it comes down to. It's just easier to not give a shit and to move on with their life and just be shitty humans.
Yeah, it's easier. That's exactly what it is. It's easier.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is, I mean, Is it like, when you'll never get them to understand and I mean them as in the people that live that life, not them as in the entire black community, right? You'll never get them to understand that because you can't remove their bias for themselves. You can't remove that confirmation bias that they live in to make everything that they believe and they do okay. But if you could pull them back to a 30,000-foot view, you'd be like, dude, this life is actually harder than just getting the fuck up and going to work. Right. This life is harder than just settling down somewhere that's better than this, paying a little extra money, working maybe a little harder, a couple hours extra a week, and not having to deal with this kind of shit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, and that's why we see a lot of those families that want to get out of those areas. They're moving to the more rural areas, like in suburbia. And they're finding it's better for them to be out here. Now they have better education for their kids. It's just the violence isn't there. And they're not putting their kids through that, the trauma that they went through when they were growing up, and they're trying to make a better life for themselves. And that's why I see a lot of them moving out to areas like where we're at just to get out of that norm. And I can't blame them one bit. It's like, you want to do better. Unfortunately, that's what you're gonna have to do. But if you can't, you're stuck in these neighborhoods, your hands are really fucking tied. I mean, you can only do so fucking much.
Well, and then you have like in that, on one side of that, we'd be like, well, for the parents that got out, they worked their ass off to get their kids out of that life, and whatnot. You're like, fucking hooray for them. Good for them. Yeah. But here's the sticky side that nobody else wants to address, that people like I am address, is that in and of itself creates problems for everybody else. Because now, as a parent, you've been in that area long enough for your teens or your children to adopt that mentality. And now you think pulling them out of it is gonna save them, which it may. Right. But what it's going to do is it's going to start the destruction of whatever area you go to, because now you have that seed coming with you that will plant in whatever school it goes to, whatever community it is. It's going to plant. It is going to find roots in the fertile soil of some other child's mind. So what do we do about that? That's a conversation for probably a whole different fucking show, but that is one of these sides that especially white people don't ever want to consider.
No, exactly. And I think it's, like you said, that's an entirely another show. Because, I mean, you can go down so many different rabbit holes with that. But I think a lot of that has to do with is parenting. The parents have to stay on top of it, and they start seeing that destructive behavior that they're so used to and putting a stop to it right away. And I think that would be like one of the only ways to actually not have it just continually to cycle into different areas that you live at. You've got to have that parenting. But unfortunately, in certain communities, you have no parenting. And that's why we're at where we're at. Yeah. Because there's no discipline, there's no consequences, there's none of that. They just, like you said, they have all of these kids to collect that government check. They don't give a fuck about the kids. They care about the money. Yeah. And, and that's not just for, I'm going to say this right now, it's not for black families. White families do it too. They have all these kids just for that fucking thing. So, I mean, it's like, parenting has to be better. We have to do better at being parents and not trying to be friends. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen a lot in these neighborhoods. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest problems is what you said, like the friends. Like I see a lot of my fucking friends, white friends, they want to be friends with their kids. I'm like, why don't you fucking put boot to ass? What the fuck is happening over there with your kid? They'll get over it, whatever, blah, 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 blah. We don't want to piss them off, blah, 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 blah. That's your job. Fuck them.
Right, exactly.
They can be pissed off. If they're doing something fucked up and they deserve to be pissed off over it, then piss them off. Like, I think that's a unique thing that I see a lot in our community, in the white community, is parents just wanting to be friends with their kids. Now, that's not to say that black people don't want to be friends with their kids, right? But what I will say is that at a certain point, we see statistically that the white demographic of parents, they do reach their breaking point and they start putting foot to ass, right? And whereas the problem with the black community is that the parenting never started, so it can never really grab a hold, because the people that are there never really learned how to parent to begin with.
Right.
They didn't have parents of their own, that were good parents,
Exactly.
Very few, very, very few black people out there, or, in any fucking community that are gangbangers. Very few of those gangbangers came from nice households. Very few.
No, exactly.
So the parenting is a huge aspect all the way across the board for every single fucking community out there, And you can go so far as to go the other extreme. The Indians and the Asians are a little bit too extreme on their kids, I believe. I understand that's why they're taking over the world, because they don't give a fuck about kids being kids or having happiness or anything. They give a fuck about kids assisting the state so that the state can be on top of the world. Like, I get it. That's why they're on top. But man, I still like to let kids be fucking kids, especially as an adult. I'm sure, like you are, that we don't get to have as much fun as we used to.
Yeah, it would be nice if our parents would have told us this shit when we were growing up, right?
No, we wouldn't want to do it then.
No, exactly. I'm sure they probably did. We just didn't listen.
Yeah.
I mean, that was our, back when I was growing up, that was the thing, that our parents would be like, don't do this. And then they'd just be fucking jabbing. And it's just like in one ear, out the other. It's like, no, I'm 16 years old. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah. Who the fuck are you to tell me?
Yeah, exactly. And then you smart off to your mom or something like that, and you get a fucking wooden spoon across your fucking ass.
Oh, dude, I got the fuck beat out of me by my dad all the time. I was lucky if I got to just smart off to mom once and not have it go over like a lead balloon.
Yeah.
But again, here we go with the current problems, because I don't go out, and like I wake up every morning wanting all people to eat. I want all people to have a great day. I want all people to survive. I don't wake up wanting ill for other people. And a lot of that has to do with the foot to ass that I received. Yeah. You start thinking ill of somebody. My dad was the furthest thing from fucking racist that you'd ever fucking see. Growing up, all his best friends that I remember as a child were fucking black dudes from the South. Like, Bobby, the one guy named Bobby, another guy named George, and his son George Jr., who I hung out with when I was a kid. Like, all my dad's best friends were black from the South, And then it's like the world hit him, like he didn't understand what the fuck, because my dad was old by the time like the world started kind of coming back this way, where it's like, wait a minute, I think we've been lied to for a handful of decades.
Just a handful.
Yeah. So. But and it shocked him. But like it's a different world, and everybody had parents though. Like when little George Jr. got out of line, his dad whooped his ass. Like, I watched that kid take some ass whoopings because he did some dumb shit, But you don't never see it anymore,
No.
Or if you do,
nowadays,
it's way the fuck out of line, and it's for no good reason at all.
Well, nowadays, I mean, because you got in your schools and shit, if your parents yell at you, you just go to school and say, yeah, my parents smacked me or something like that. I mean, how hard is it for a kid to smack themselves and get a little red mark or something like that? Now the parents are in trouble.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just
growing up, my
it's
sister,
fucking ridiculous.
It is so ridiculous. And how much the power the schools have. I understand why they have some, but I just don't understand why they have as much as they do. So growing up, my sister's 10 years older than I am, but she's perpetually like a slow 12 or 13-year-old. She's mentally retarded, like legitimately. And growing up, she got mad at my dad, and so my dad never hit her. My dad hit me all the fucking time for everything, but he never hit my sister. He wouldn't do it. And she went to school. She got mad at him, went to school one day and told her teacher that my dad hit her and this and that. Next thing you know, the cops were at the house, and they're talking to my dad, and he's like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, the school, whoever said that you hit your daughter. And he goes, "No, and if I did, it would have been a swat on the ass as don't do that." And he's like, "Well," and the cop was like, "You can't do that." And he's like, "Okay, fucking take her with you." And all the fucking cops at the door, because they showed up, and my dad had a reputation, not a piss poor reputation. He worked for a lot of the cops, fixed their cars and stuff. So they showed up mostly to see him, to hang out,
Right.
But he had a reputation of not going to deal with your bullshit, like that kind of "I'll meet you where you go." And so all the cops, like, they had this quizzical look on their face, like, what did you just say? He's like, yeah, if I can't even yell at my daughter to discipline her, take her fuck with you. I don't want her.
Right.
You know, you're going to raise her, you're going to raise her. If you're going to tell me I can't raise her, you are, you know? And then all of a sudden everything was okay. And, you know, just try to take it easy. And they had a little psychology session real quick, you know?
Oh, you got
but now if you go to school and you say your dad slapped you, the cops will be at your house in minutes with DCFS, with an open investigation. They'll take your children, this and that and the other thing, all because of the school thing. And then the other the thing the school is, now I got a school for my kid. I got a letter from my kid's high school that says, you know, we care the most about our students' mental well-being, this and that and the other thing. And it's you know, we are making sure to keep parents advised of any mental issues, this and that and the other thing. The funny thing about that is I got that recently. Just a couple of years ago, my stepkid was in the same school and he was having suicidal thoughts and this and that. And when we tried to get a hold of the school about what the fuck was going on and why they didn't tell us, they said at 12 years old, your child has a privacy clause with the school they are in, and that school no longer can or has to notify the parents of anything. So how the fuck do we go from you don't have to notify the parents about suicidal thoughts and tendencies to you give a fuck about mental health? What?
Right. That makes no fucking sense.
Exactly.
Like, I mean,
that's the school system.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just indoctrination camps. I mean, that's all school systems are nowadays.
Yep.
You know, but that's just fucked up because, like, you know, if I was a parent and my kid was having those thoughts, I'm going to want to know about it so I can rectify it and get my kid the help that it needs to work through it.
Yeah.
You know, because no parent should have to bury their child.
No.
You know, and and when the school systems, I mean, they want to have a say in everything that goes on with your fucking kids. That's one thing that they should be fucking telling you. Like, you know, I know when I was growing up, when I was in school and stuff like that, like if I was acting out of the ordinary, they'd be on the phone calling my parents, be like, hey, you know, something's going on with your son, this, that, and the other. He's doing this. I'd get home, I'd have a talking to see what it was. But it, you know, again, that is entirely another show about our school systems as well. So that's just, I mean, our tax dollars hard at work.
Well, it's, you know, the school for me is just nothing but another arm of the government. And it's creating its own Hegelian dialectics. Like it creates the problem in our children by forcing them to be around people that are pieces of shit, people that are beautiful, brilliant minds, all these people, which to a level is good. But they force them to be in these groups of people, and then they force them to be insignificantized, right? Like they make them feel slightly less significant by putting them in a class where they can't get any attention. They can't get any personal attention from the teacher because it's 38 students to a fucking single teacher, and the teachers nowadays absolutely across the board don't give a fuck about the kids. They give a fuck about their money. That's all they give a shit about. And I will be more than happy to school anybody that ever wants me to fucking argue about that. But what they do is they create these problems in our children. Then they remove the parent from it by putting a 12-year-old plus fucking, you know, an age 12 plus confidentiality agreement in place, and then they present themselves as the solution. Now the kid doesn't trust the parent because they haven't opened up to the parent because the parent didn't know anything was going on so that they could tell them, hey, open up to me. I really want to know about this, and I want to know because I want to help you. I don't, you know, they've been completely removed. And then when the fucking school presents itself as the solution, then the kid starts associating that with communism. I believe they start looking at it like, oh, that's a state-funded thing that helped me out when my dad didn't. It's a state thing that helped me out when my mom wasn't there. You know, they kind of look at this. So it's, it's a whole different fucking show, but it definitely is. I mean, because it's just, when you go down that rabbit hole, just with school districts and just how they are, and, you know, the things that they tell the kids, like, oh, you don't have to tell your parents this. You don't have to, you know, especially when it comes to the trans and all that stuff. You know, if you don't feel comfortable in your skin, and they teach them this stuff. It's like the kids don't need to be focused on shit like that in school. Let them focus on learning
what they need to learn, like history. I mean, hell, they don't even teach like the same history that I learned when I was going to school. They don't teach it anymore.
Right.
You know, they have it all twisted now to benefit one side, you know, and you can completely see it, what side it's twisted to basically favor. Yeah. And it's fucking sickening, because now you got all these kids coming out of school that have absolutely no fucking clue, you know, and then, you know, your kids are, you know, if they're depressed or whatever, the first thing they want to do is put them on medicine.
Yeah.
Don't find out why. No, here, just take this medicine. You'll be okay. And that medicine, all that's going to do is just fuck them up even more. And people don't seem to realize that as well. I mean, yeah, there's a reason why big pharma is a billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
You know, it creates customers. It doesn't heal people. It just creates more and more customers and keeps you around until you die.
Right. Well, I have a very close friend that had some issues with his kid, and some things happened. His kid was going through a kind of a dark time, and they actually were going to take his kids away. He had to fight for a year. They were going to take his kids away because they told him that his kid needed to be on prescription medications for the SSRIs. And he's like, let's try some other shit first. Let's try therapy. Let's go to a registered therapist, a licensed therapist, and we'll try some therapy first. They didn't want to do it. They told him no. They told him, if you do not give him this medication, we will take him from you. And they tried, and he ended up winning.
Wow.
So, but it took him a year fight, and it almost took him a fucking giant physical fight inside of a hospital to get them to stop from taking his kid. So, yeah, I mean, this isn't bullshit. Like, people that think that these things don't happen, they fucking happen every single day. The whole world now, especially America and New Zealand, because those are the only two places you can advertise prescription medications. The whole world in general is all about the medication. Don't change your diet, take a pill. Don't change your habits, take a pill. Don't change your job, take a pill. Don't talk through your problems, take a pill. Everything has got to have a pill, you know?
Oh, yeah. Everything has. I mean, I can tell you, the last time I went to a doctor, my blood pressure was a little high. You know, you'd figure they would run some tests on trying to figure out why, right? My doctor's first thing was, take your blood pressure for a week and then send it over to me, and then we're going to go from there. I'm like, all right, fine. I took it for a week. It was still a little bit high. Instead of trying to run any other blood tests or anything like that to see if I'm vitamin B deficient or, something like that's going on, here, take this medicine. Get you right on fucking blood pressure medication so you'll never come off it, and you're a customer for life.
Yep. That's
when there's holistic ways around everything. It just, people just don't want to go down that rabbit hole and learn it. You know how I got my blood pressure down? I drank Celion cinnamon tea once a night for about 2 months. I took the cinnamon stick, I boiled some water, poured it into a little pot. I put it on the stove, let it steep for 10 minutes, drank that with some honey for about 2 months straight, and my blood pressure came down. Never once had to touch the medicine.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking incredible what you can get into when you start actually researching and diving into these holistic rabbit holes. You know what I mean? Like, there's cures for a lot of shit out there that is, and some of them are in your backyard. But they won't tell you.
They should. No. Well, they should be, but that's why they, you have all these lawn care companies out there that want to spray the weed killer, because they want to get rid of a lot of it. Because a lot of that shit that weed killer kills, like dandelions and milk thistle and all that stuff, it has healing properties for you. But we can't have that because big pharma ain't going to make money.
I know several people that harvest their dandelions out of their yards. Like, they have natural lawns, and they harvest all the dandelions and they make dandelion tea.
Yep.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It has so many good properties for it, and healing properties for you. It's just, people just don't want to do it. It just blows my mind.
But it's part of the psyop, right? You can't have a natural lawn. You've got to have a purely green grass lawn. Like, show me one fucking spot in nature that doesn't have anything but that particular fucking strain of grass in it. I like natural shit. Now, I'll tell you though, I'll give you this. There's more weeds in my backyard than I'd like, but that's also because I can't really do much with them, because we had a couple of trees cut down. So that spread mushrooms and shit all over. So we're trying to fucking clean all this bullshit up. Plus I got a dog and she's at the end of her life cycle. So it's like, I'm not going to spray anything, of course, you know? So it's like, you know, it's just her place. Now that doesn't mean I don't mow it and it looks unpresentable. Like it looks fine, but it's got more shit in it than I'd like, you know?
Hey, at least you're mowing it.
Yeah. Unlike a lot of people around here.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. Like when you talk about mowed lawns, like I quote mowed lawns all the time. Like that's the difference when you know you're getting into a shitty area is you see less and less mowed lawns. You see a lot more I don't give a fuck about anything and less and less more mowed lawns, you know?
But hey, they got that fucking BMW sitting outside or that Cadillac.
Yeah.
You know, they got that priorities fucking straight right there. You know, hey, I got my Cadillac. I got status now. What's up with your lawn? Fuck that. I don't need to worry about it. It's like, come on.
Dude, I had a conversation with a banger and he's a guy I don't want to say I'm friends with, I'm acquaintances with, right? And I you know, like we'll talk every now and then through a couple other friends, but I had a conversation with not too long ago, and I was like, you know, but like why it was very, very recent. It was right after I did my episode on third world mindsets. But, you know, I talked to him and I was like, well, why the fuck do you guys want to live like that? Like your house, even your house looks like shit, but you've got a fucking BMW X7. Like what the fuck is going on? And he's like, dog, you're all just jealous because you ain't me. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Why the fuck would I be jealous because I ain't you? I don't like BMWs. They're 34 out of 36 on the list of reliability. I don't want one of those things. And I work on them, so I know that this is a fact. I don't want your house. I don't want a house in your name. What do you mean I want to beat you? And he's like, brother, he's like, y'all are just jealous because I'm somebody where I'm from. And you're still nobody where you're from. And I had to give it to him a little bit. Like that, that is a mentality that I could see flowing through that neighborhood. Like it doesn't matter if you're somebody anywhere. It only matters if you're somebody in this fucking hood right now. You know what I mean? So I'm still not jealous at all. No. But mentality though, and it did give me a little bit of a window into the thinking.
Right. You know, and that's the thinking, like you said. I mean, unfortunately that goes beyond those neighborhoods as well, because people have that mindset even in good old suburbia. You know, they'll still have that mindset. I mean, hell, look at Wonder Tucky.
Yeah. I mean, Wonder Bama and Wonder Tucky.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is back, I think it was in like the 60s or 70s, Wonder Tucky had a sign out there that said no blacks allowed, right? And you go out there to this day and, I mean, come on. It's, yeah. That's all I got to say.
It's either extreme white trash as you can get, or it's fucking dark.
Yeah. But they're building up that new neighborhood off of, you know, 120 or whatever.
Oh, that gigantic one. Yeah.
Yeah. I worked for ComEd and I was project manager for all that stuff that was going on over there. And yeah, what they're doing over there and how far it's going to fucking go. It's literally going to go up to McComb Lake Road, from 120 to McComb Lake Road. And then it's going to hit Rainwood Road as well. On the corner of Rainwood and McComb Lake Road, they're talking about that they want to have like a shopping complex over in there.
Jesus.
And possibly a gas station. It's like, okay, you know, that's great. You want to develop the neighborhood and develop the area. I'm all for it, but we're losing a lot of farmland. Right. What are we going to do about that? You know, it's like the city planners don't seem to think about stuff like that either. You know?
They don't. They do. They don't give a fuck. The city planners make a lot more money from a fucking shopping district than they do a farmer.
Well,
you know?
Oh, exactly. It's all about the tax dollars.
Right. And we can always outsource the food to somewhere else in state, you know, or somewhere else in another state, you know. That's how they look at it, you know.
Yeah, but like a lot of our food is still like a lot of our meats and all that stuff. People think that it's processed here, but it's not. It's processed overseas.
Right.
You know, and it's like, wouldn't you want to have what you're going to make for dinner processed here in America and not overseas? Because laws are a lot looser overseas to where they can do whatever the fuck they want, where they can't do that here. And that's why they send it over there. And now it's coming back here and you're going to eat it. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's like, I just don't get it.
Yeah. I don't want any, I want as little as possible. I can't say I don't want anything. I want as little as possible from overseas because I want as much as possible to help this place where I live. I make my money. I raise my family. My friends live. My colleagues live. You know, I want this place to do good. And the only way that does good is if we start fucking sourcing everything as much as we can here. You know?
Oh, you're talking about America first, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's Nazi stuff, though.
Yeah,
You're not going to bring that
stuff, so
Nazi America first stuff to this show.
We can't be talking about that here. I mean, that's not a half American flag behind me. Come on now.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, I don't understand. Like, and I do understand to a point that this is the system, you know. But I don't understand like how people get so unraveled in the political structure of this country and one candidate or another. Like, I'll say first and foremost, Trump's first presidency was fucking awesome. Like it went as well as I think it could have. This second presidency, which is the first presidency, is why he got the second presidency. This fucking thing is a disaster. Like, I don't know what the fuck. There's some there now for the Trump dick suckers out there. I'm not saying he's not doing anything good. Stop, pull back, step away from the fire. He's doing some good shit. But he is selling a lot of us up the fucking river at the very same time. So if we're going to get into a position where we can't question that, you're no better than the people you fucking hate on the left. So go fuck yourself.
Exactly. Well, and here's the problem is that people put politicians up on pedestals. And it's not right. You shouldn't be putting a politician up on a pedestal. People need to have the mindset and remember that politicians are put in place by we, the people. We elect them. We pay them their salaries through our tax dollars. So, you know, when you have somebody that says, yeah, I support Biden or I support Trump, how can you sit there and say that you support them? Do you support when you go to your local Starbucks? Do you support that barista? Do you support that person at McDonald's that's handing you your food? You know, it's the same kind of mindset. It's like you're putting these fucking people on pedestals and it's, you know, you got to remember and have the mindset, I elected that motherfucker to do a job. He's my employee, essentially. Do your job or you get voted out again. You know, but people don't seem to realize that. They're just like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm going to continue voting for AOC or whatever because of some bullshit. Is she doing her job? No, it's because you support that person. That's why you're voting for them. You're not basing it on if they're actually doing their fucking job. And that's the problem with American politics right now. Is people have all these people on those pedestals and they got to knock them off.
Yeah, I look at that like a lot of like, I kind of feel like it's sports for me. Like I'm not a sport ball kind of guy. Like I like baseball and hockey, you know, hockey the most because it's as manly as you can fucking get. It's technically demanding as you can get of any sport. You have to have skills or you absolutely cannot play it. That's why I like it, you know, and baseball is just it's a consistently slow background thing if it's on, which it hasn't been on in my house in fucking probably a decade. But I'm really not into sports. If all sports went away, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But here's the thing when it comes to sports, even the ones I like, I've never owned a jersey with another man's name on it. If you think I'm going to let another man come his name onto the back of my shoulders so that I can walk around this fucking planet advertising that I'm his property, you can go fuck yourself. I ain't having it. But I feel like all these people, like they should all have jerseys on, just like they should have the race jackets on, seeing, you know, who they want to sponsor, you know, wear AOC on your jersey, wear Trump on your jersey, wear fucking, you know, what's her, Catherine, whatever on your jersey.
Well, you know what would be funny is if the politicians actually did that too. Have little patches on who their sponsors, and then you'll really see, and your eyes will open up to see like where they're getting their fucking money from. Well, and how evil some of these corporations are.
I've got a plan on how we can figure out how well or how not well the voting system works. Let's have just one election where 0 people in America vote. 0, not one. I guarantee you there will be still a transition of power. I guarantee you that everything is still going to move on like it is. They're not going to be like, well, nobody voted, so we don't know what the fuck to do. Guys, we need somebody to vote. They're not going to do that. They're going to be like, so-and-so won. Yeah. Oh, really? We didn't vote. Nobody voted. So what do you mean they won? Oh, it's because it's a rigged system. And the only thing that voting actually does is on the outside chance that they go back in time to see what has already transpired, they may be able to uncover those votes, like we did see in this most recent Trump fuckery about the stolen election and this and that. You know,
Right.
we did see when we went back that there was a lot more votes that were fucked over, miscounted, uncounted, this and that. But that's the only thing voting does. And which is a really weird dichotomy to think that it's so important to do something that doesn't matter now. It's so important to do something for a just in case later, you know?
Yeah.
It's a mind fuck.
No, it is. It is. I mean, yeah. And, the voting and all that stuff. I mean, that's another story too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do more shows.
I think so. Cause I think right now, just so far in this episode right now, we've uncovered multiple other rabbit holes we can just dive down into. And, honestly, if we started talking about it now, I think we'd probably have a 4-hour show.
Oh, yeah.
This would be like a Joe Rogan type episode going on right now.
Yeah. Which, I'm not opposed to when it's planned out. But, I mean, dude, and knowing us, I mean, dude, any rabbit hole that gets presented to me, I'm more than willing and capable to dive down.
Yeah,
I've probably already been down at least a little bit of it,
I've dived down so many different rabbit holes, from chemtrails to, COVID vaccines to, you name it. I probably dove down in and at least a little bit, dipped my toes into it, but not fully submerged yet. And it's just, and that's part of the reason why I took so much time away from the mic, is because of that research I was doing. It's real mind fuck, because once you realize your government doesn't give a fuck about you, and this whole time you've been, thinking they do, it really changes things for you. You see things in a different light altogether. You don't trust the government. You don't trust anything about them. And
well,
that's pretty much where it's at.
And with that comes another mind fuck of, now you're in this zone of, what can I trust? Like, I don't know if I can trust the left or the right or the middle. I don't know if I can trust the extreme or the extreme over there. Like, I feel like I can't trust anything now. Nothing that I hear, I don't. And that's part of the system, like they get you so, twisted and frazzled and untrusting of everything, that you basically just retract from society and become easily controllable.
Yep.
But you said, it is a mind fuck when you start diving down this shit. Like, you've got to be mentally prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, you really do, because the things you uncovered are things that you're not going to want to know. Things that you probably didn't want to know, that you're not going to unlearn it. Right. You're not just going to forget about it. It's going to be there, and it's going to burn a hole inside of you so bright that you're going to want to get back to it and continue that dive in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just draws you back in, unfortunately, like you were saying, nowadays you don't know who you can trust. You don't know who you can believe. I can tell you right now, and it's sad that you can trust the weatherman more than you can trust the journalist.
Right.
Because, the weatherman's going to be, at least maybe if he's lucky, 20% of the time, 30% of the time, he's going to be right with the weather. The journalist, you don't know if it's all just paid propaganda they're spewing. Right. And chances are pretty good it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because all media companies are owned by 6 companies. All media companies on Earth are owned by 6 companies. Yeah. And people think that there's a division of standard. Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Well, they're owned by 6 companies, right? But now if you dive deeper, who holds the most stocks in them? And then when you start looking at that stuff too, you got BlackRock, you got Vanguard, and that's
State
a whole
Street
right. That's a whole different rabbit hole that is a mind fuck.
Yeah.
Once you start to learn about them and what they control.
Yeah. Everything.
Everything.
It's the banks and the International Bank of Settlements that owns fucking everything. The International Bank of Settlements is the only fucking banking enterprise on Earth that is beholden to no one. Has to produce 0 information for any entity on Earth. They run this shit. They own it. And it's a fucking 900-pound fat fucking pile of shit that's heading up the chair in it too.
Yeah, exactly. But people don't want to believe that. They want to have their blinders on, and I get it. And that's why where people like you and I come in is to hopefully be able to get those blinders off so they can actually see what the fuck is going on before it's too late.
Right.
With everything that's going on in society, with the cancel culture, with just everything that's happening, it's all designed for a reason. It's so you don't care. It's two-party system with our politics. The two-party system, three-party system is designed to keep everybody divided. And people they're just,
well,
I don't know. It's like you want to just shake them by the fucking neck and be like, wake the fuck up already.
Right. Well, and how fucked up is it that here, what do you think the reaction would be if people found out that the original runners of this country, being George Washington, he didn't want two parties. He said, we are of one people. We should be of one mind because we are of one country. He didn't want the two-party system. It was the fucking British people that already own the fucking country that said, you have to have the second party or we're going to fucking kill you. Yeah. For everybody that didn't know that, dive into that rabbit hole. Tell me how fucking bright life is tomorrow. Yeah, you're really fighting for something that never existed,
Exactly. Oh, yeah, I guarantee they're going to dive down that rabbit hole and they're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking, but again, it's part of the plan, get you so twisted up and so that you retract and the good ones can come back, like I've had to take breaks. Everybody I know that does what we do, sees what we see, knows what we know, and learns what we learn. We've all had to take a fucking break every now and then. And, the good ones come back and the fucking, and the weak ones stay gone. And that's the way it is. And that's why I make it such a point to tell everybody that if you really want to start getting into this shit, because everybody wants to be an Ian Carroll, right? Like, let's just be honest. Like, everybody wants to be the go-to guy for every conspiracy on earth, which is Ian Carroll. The guy's fucking brilliant. I mean, he knows this shit, and he's really good at orating the processes of it and whatever. But people don't understand that this knowledge that you continually try to learn comes with it a very heavy toll. It fucks your brain up. It starts turning you to a nihilist. Like, dude, so you mean to tell me that none of this shit matters? What the fuck are we doing here? And that's a dangerous fucking rabbit hole to let yourself fall down there. Is believing that life is senseless and worthless and has no meaning and you shouldn't bother with it. You gotta be mentally prepared when you're going to be digging down these fucking rabbit holes.
Yeah, no, you definitely do, and you have to have a strong stomach with a lot of this shit too. You really do, because I mean, you come across a lot of shit, and I'm sure you have, as where it turns your stomach, and it just like that the mental aspect of it as well. It just fucks with your head so much, and it's just like, it's like fuck. I can't believe they're doing that to us. Right. But I mean, that's the wake up call that everybody needs, I think, is to actually, maybe they should jump down those rabbit holes. It might wake them up and actually see what the fuck's going on.
I know I learned a lot at rock bottom a couple of times. I would recommend, it's not a place I'd recommend camping, or, setting up permanent shop, but maybe camp for a minute.
Yeah, maybe a weekend. Let's set up the tent for about a weekend and see how it goes. And you're going to come out of there and you're going to be on fucking Xanax and depressants and all that shit just to get yourself back to normal. I promise you.
Right. So, well, on that note, let's wrap this thing up because we're definitely going to do another episode for sure. So whether you like it or not, you're going to be back. So
I'll be back, and you'll be on my show too.
But
we'll just go ahead.
We'll
just keep bouncing this back and forth. I'm sure again, we have so many different topics we can go over.
Oh yeah. So on that note, you guys know how we end the show, but before we get to that, you can follow me at Savagely Loud on Instagram. That is where I'm most active. Savagely Loud on Instagram. You will find 2 links on that page. One of those links will lead you to Savagely Loud podcast page. Please follow me there too. And the other link will lead you to a link tree. Anywhere you listen, watch my content or my show, you'll find it there. Outside of that, you can follow me at Facebook, X, and Rumble. We're already fucking minds up here. Facebook, X, and Rumble at Savagely Loud. YouTube at Savagely Loud Podcast. And you can also email me in at savagelyloud@gmail.com. Last but not least, don't forget to like, comment, share, and please, guys, review the show, give me a great rating, 5 stars, help me out. I'm helping you out. I'm helping us all out. So be part of the fucking movement. Dave, tell people where they can find you, find your show, whatever you want them to know. Let's tell them.
All right. So you can find me over on all social media platforms at The Hammer Drops. From Facebook to Instagram, I'm active on both of them, as well as TikTok. The Hammer Drops is on there as well. All my links are available on our website at thehammerdrops.com. You can find them also on Facebook as well. I do have a YouTube channel as well. I haven't really used it very much, but there are some videos up there as well. So you can go check those out at the Hammer Drops podcast down over there.
Sweet. Yeah. I'm just, I put the shows on YouTube and stuff, but I'm so focused on the other platforms, like YouTube is slowly building, but that's basically how I was told by YouTube gurus is don't expect to hit YouTube and then just make all the money and all the followers and all the subscriptions and stuff like that. Most of your following will come from the following you build on other social media platforms. Unless you do YouTube specific content, which is, the fucking stupid fucking toy opening videos and that dumb shit. But
well, we're also over there on Rumble too. I keep on forgetting Rumble, but we're over on Rumble because I've been booted off YouTube too many times, and I can't risk that anymore.
Yeah, well, I got booted off of fucking TikTok twice. The first time I fucking argued it, and they let me come back, even though the fucking piece of content that they booted me for was absolutely zero fucking problems on every other platform, and shouldn't have been a problem on that platform. But then they booted me the second time, and I was like, fuck it, we're done with TikTok. And then they actually came back to me, petitioning me to petition them to get my fucking channel back. I was like, fuck you guys. No, you had your opportunity. We're done here.
Wait, it's cough censorship.
Heavily. So, but
you
guys,
say the C word, you're done.
right. You say a lot of words, you're done. But guys, so you know how we end the show every single episode. We talk about the stickiest shit. We get deep, we get dark, we get depressive sometimes, and we don't want to walk away from the show like that. So we're going to pick ourselves up with stories of people being awesome to other people and a segment called Hopelessly Human. And it starts a little bit like...
People can be rough. They can be quite tough. They can get in the way, but at the end of the day, some aren't only stupid, some are hopelessly human.
Yes, they are. Some are hopelessly human. Today's Hopelessly Human is called the hero of the Montecito mudslides. In January 2018, Southern California was struck by a series of deadly mudslides. The storm-related disaster claimed the lives of nearly 24 people and hospitalized 163 others. A mudflow in Montecito was so powerful that it dislodged a number of houses from their foundations, reaching speeds of up to 32 kilometers per hour, which is 20 miles per hour. The debris-filled wave laid waste to vehicles, trees, power lines, and buildings. Since heavy rains had been forecast, rescue teams were already mobilizing along the coastal town when the storm hit. Fortunately, firefighter, I'm going to say this and I'm going to butcher the fuck out of it. So don't come at me. I'm sorry. I mean you the most respect. That's why you're part of this. That's why you're in the story. Firefighter Maev Juarez, Maevejuarez. Maev Juarez was on hand to coordinate the rescue efforts. Maev was, Maev was inspecting the San Isidro Creek Bridge in the early hours of the morning. Moments after leaving, an enormous gas explosion completely destroyed the bridge and set fire to neighboring houses. She rushed back to the scene just in time to see one couple jumping from the second floor of their burning home. The woman had broken her feet during the escape. Maev clothed the half-naked woman and carried her over 400 meters, roughly 1,300 feet, to safety. Wow. Maev continued working through the night with her colleagues and is credited with saving over 100 lives. She was presented with the first Medal of Valor award in the history of the Montecito Fire Department, along with her colleague, Andy Rupp. That is incredibly hopelessly human, and that's the show. I missed the button.